All right, geeks, buckle up your flux capacitors. I mean capacitors. Oh, damn, capacitors. Oh, shoot, whatever. Just set your DeLorean to ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous, Nancy. I mean, because today we're going to be diving into Hollywood's favorite headache, time travel.
Time travel? What the hell is that?
But I'm just drunk, man. I'm sorry.
So somewhere between Back to the Future and Endgame, not the first game, but the end game.
I thought it was the first game because I remember Uncle Larry was talking about that first game.
No, it's the end game. You got always mistaken by the first game. It's the end game.
Okay, my bad, man, my bad. And then, anyways, you got your smart sci-fi got lost into the time stream. I mean, but don't you remember that piss stream I was doing earlier?
No,
man?
that was Uncle Carl again.
Oh,
when
I'm
we went
sorry,
fly
man.
fishing, he got stuck in his own piss stream.
Okay, my bad, man. I thought that's what I mean here, but
It basically got replaced by paradoxes, plot holes, and don't think about it too hard logic.
oh, you mean my one brain cell that I have? You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I mean?
you just don't think about it too hard. But let's see if we can untangle the timelines before the multiverse collapses again.
Wait a minute, hold on before we go further. What do you mean again? I swore that we were sleeping, man.
No, you were sleeping. I was not.
Well, fine. Let's just get geeky then.
We're geeks from the multiverse. We've come to unite all geeks. Now it's time to get geeky and dive right in. Cause we're geeks from the multiverse.
What's up, y'all? Everybody, this is your boy John, a.k.a. Captain Mustache, and always with me, my co-host, a.k.a. Mr. Grumpy Beard, Matt.
What's up, everybody? I don't know who those two guys were. We kicked their asses right out.
Yeah,
of
they
here.
were like, get the fuck out of this room, man. I don't know what's going on with these guys. You know, a little fun fact back before we go any further. I actually was born in Mississippi. So, when people are like, man, you don't have that southern drawl, I'm like, you're damn right I don't, because if I did, you would be thinking to yourself, like, why does it, like, what's that southern twang you got there, man? And I mean, we're just goofing off. We're just trying to be fun here. But anyways, yes, today's episode, we're going to be diving into time travel because, of course, given the name Geeks from the Multiverse, we have to at least do something with time and traveling and doing all that sort of
Time
stuff.
travel, alternate universes. But before we get there, I do want to point out a few things because we have updated our website. And I want to point this out because it is important that you guys go to our website and check us out because you can listen to all of our episodes right from our website. But more importantly, now you can actually check out our entire merch store right from our website. There's a new button that right on the top. It's called Shop. It brings you right to our merch store. I mean, all of our T-shirts. There's a brand new hat. It's embroidered with our logo. But all of our pins, our stickers, which have been updated with the newer logo. A few of the older Christmas stuff is up there, like the ornaments. There's a pin and then the shirt.
I didn't see the shirt. I did see the pin, and I did see I do remember the ornament, but yeah.
But you can check out the shop right from our page, and the old merch page has been transformed into my book page. So you can learn all about me as an author. You can learn about the books and links to purchase said books. And those books are The Amulet Keepers, Power of the Gods, and Shadows of War. So you can check those out. But you can also check out our Evolve page and learn all about our Evolve mission and everything. Listen to all of our particular Evolve episodes.
I mean, I'll admit this right now. So, like, when Matt and I just did our Evolve episode on, gratefulness and thankfulness, I mean, honestly, it's been a while. I mean, we've done, I would even say before that, I think one of my other really recent ones that we did was the whole, the racism and, the suicide, talking about that and stuff. But this one was just special because, like, having our, pastor come in and, kind of talk about all this stuff. Like, it was also a lot of enlightenment. There we go. Sorry, I don't know why I just said that, but it was just nice to hear, all these different things. But yes, check it out because I'm telling you, it was a great episode. I think it really does it well, and I think it does it a lot of justice because I think, as a society, we just haven't really, gotten to that point where we're like, hey, we need to get back to that, that whole gratefulness and, whole thankfulness thing. And that was where, like I said, that was just a great episode. I think we had a lot of good talking points on there. And again, having the, guest on here too, like that's what we've been saying, every time that we've been doing this, I mean, we want to get more people on. And so like, again, hopefully Pastor Joe, if you decide to listen to this episode, then you can know that, yes, you're always more than welcome to come back. We can always talk about other things as well. But anyways, yes, let's dive into the Hollywood time travel, brief little history of it.
Yeah, so the Time Machine, which came out in 1960. Okay, I know there was a remake. I get it. Nobody nowadays hey, this was a movie in 1960. Yes, it was an actual movie.
You know
in
what's really
1960.
funny is how many fucking movies do we know that have been already remade from from a long time ago, and they said, hey, let's just do it from like the 80s.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But the Time Machine, which was based on H.G. Wells' novel, introduced time as a scientific device and not some magical
Portal.
concept. So Wells' concept was I can never say this damn word.
Physiological. Man, you got me saying it.
Oh, I know.
Physiological.
Physiological.
Physiological. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah,
keep
whatever.
going.
We're moving on. So it's about progress, class, and decay, not paradoxes.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Philosophical, man. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. My bad. I thought it was something completely different.
Yeah.
Go on.
Whatever. Moving on. So yeah, it was about progress, class, and decay, not about paradoxes, and it wasn't about like what we see now as time, where if you change something, now it's going to create a butterfly. Time wasn't about anything about that. Hollywood adapted that into a spectacle, which set the tone for every film after that. The cause and effect through observation. A time traveler doesn't alter history; he witnesses it. Every moment he visits is fixed. So it's like reading a book. You can't edit the book, right? So it's that sort of thing, and that's what H.G. Wells in the novel suggests. Like you can view time, but it's not something like you can edit. Like I guess if you took A Christmas Story,
Okay.
when Scrooge is visiting the past, he can't change the past. He can't interact with it. He's just there as an observer. The cause effect chain is linear and unbreakable. So that's from the Time Machine.
Well, I mean, it is an interesting concept. I mean, granted, I believe it was, sorry, Albert Einstein that was talking about time travel at one point, but it was basically like he's saying that kind of the similar thing here where you really can't try to edit anything. So, like, we'll mention other movies too, and I know we're going to jump ahead here in a minute, but like, when you think about like, for example, like a comedy movie like Hot Tub Time Machine, right? And they go back in time, and then they, one of the guys actually changes Google to, was it like Fergal or something stupid? Lugal.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sitting there like,
his name was Lou. Yeah.
right. But like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just go back and try to like do any of that. So
Right.
like, now this is just me before we go forward, man. If time travel was like a thing now, right? If we actually had a way to do it, what would be one thing that you would want to go either do, see, or visit?
I don't know if there's one particular thing, to be honest with you.
Well, I can tell you one thing, right? I mean, for me, now this is the hard part, right? Because if we're talking about this concept, like this very first one, what I would try to do is take whatever money I could get now, go back in time, set up a bank account from way back when, right? Just know like which banks were going to be around, right? Just put it there.
But
leave it somewhere,
It really depends on what, and this is what we're talking about in this whole episode, is it really depends on what your theory of time travel is, because if it's H.G. Wells, then that cause effect wouldn't happen because you basically would be an observer.
True, but like let's say it was Back to the Future, in that
If you're talking Back to the Future, which became the gold standard in '85 because that's when it came out, the logic is very, very simple, right? You change your past, the future changes, right? Like
true,
and that's basically Marty's goal was to save his families. Every cause has an effect, right? So the part of the movie that changed the whole thing was his father was supposed to be hit by the car when he fell off that tree.
right?
And because he wasn't and Marty was, that changed the whole past.
Right. And I mean, granted, every, part 1, 2, and 3 were all, different kind of stories as a whole. I mean, yes, if we're just talking about the first one, then yes, you're right. I mean, he's just going back, saving his family, and then
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about like what he does in the
No.
future. We're just talking about when he goes back to the past, like he interferes with his parents actually meeting, and then that's why they're starting to fade out because they never meet and they never have kids. So they're
well, the only weird thing is, and I know we talked about this before, was when Marty's mom was hitting on him, and we're like, "Ooh," like,
yeah.
don't do that, man. Don't do it. That's just wrong. But anyways, yeah, no, I mean, so, when you're looking at it, right? So like the film worked because of the emotional continuity, right? Because Marty's goal, right, was we've already said, was to save his family. Pure textbook cause and effect. Marty interferes with his parents' meeting. He starts to fade out of existence. Every action has a measurable reaction. That's why it's a good model for time traveling, storytelling, really. The emotional stakes are at the scientific stakes. So, when he meets Doc, right, he's like, Marty, and he's trying to like, come over here, we got to save your family, and so, I mean, this is actually something him and I, Matt and I talked about before. How is it possible to take a DeLorean that we were already saying, because we were saying at the time that, it would only go about 110 miles an hour. So they're going about 88 miles an hour?
88
just to hit it?
In a mall parking lot.
Right, in a mall parking lot. And then at one point, they have to go, when they go back in time, if we're talking about the first movie, they have to hit that clock tower exactly at the right time, make sure there's a lightning strike.
It could just be me. And I don't know enough about cars to tell you that the speedometer does not go up if you're just in like neutral and hitting the gas pedal.
No, it doesn't. When you were in neutral, it shouldn't be doing anything.
So when he has like his e-brake or whatever he had on, and he's hitting the gas and the wheels are just spinning, the speedometer is going up and up and up, like almost to 60 by the time he goes flying down that street. Now, I would think a normal teenage boy, because he was probably, 16, 17 in that movie, maybe?
Yeah, give or take.
He probably would initially fly out going 60, 65, and then he would end up in the nearest building.
Right, because again, if you're just starting to drive, I mean, you're not that good at it.
No, not
by
yet.
any means.
So the other, I mean, there's a lot of films that we could have added, but these ones were just kind of a brief little history. But the Terminator was another one that was kind of big in this, like, in the time travel thing, because it introduced fate versus free will in this kind of loop. And we actually said this quote, I think, in one of the Evolve episodes. I think the no fate but what we make.
Oh yeah, that wasn't. That was literally in the last episode. Sorry, I don't know why I was doing that, but
yeah.
Yes,
So it was the no fate but what we make, and so the Terminator introduced a closed causal loop. So Skynet creates the resistance by trying to stop it. So that it's fans could follow the logic. It's poetic. It's not messy. But this closed loop cause effect system. So Skynet sends a Terminator to kill Sarah Connor. That action causes the creation of John Connor, who later leads the resistance that fights Skynet. So it's like a snake eating its tail. Still cause and effect, but it's
a continuous cycle.
Yeah, it's a continuous cycle, and that's why it's that casual loop.
I mean, with doing that, that's not going to really do anything at this point. I mean, the difference is that with Marty and doing what he was doing, that caused so much rift on so many different, because it was causing a lot more like damage to.
Well, with Back to the Future, that was more butterfly effect, right? Like you change something and something in the future happens. Where Terminator, literally, they sent the Terminator, and then the Resistance sent somebody, and it was them sending the Terminator that caused them to send somebody to protect Sarah, which was the whole cause and effect. Like they sent the Terminator, they sent somebody else, and that somebody else ended up with Sarah Connor, you know what I mean? So it was like,
well, right, and I mean, I know, and then
it was the whole thing. So you can say like did Skynet plan it that way? Did they not plan it that way? It's just it's just one of those like,
Well, we just won't know.
Yeah.
Unless James Cameron's like, that's exactly how it went.
but it's the thing like those films, and there's like I said, there's many other. They build tension by respecting the temporal consequence. Like you couldn't just hop around fixing things without fallout, and that's I think the point. Maybe with H.G. Wells, like there's no fixing anything. You're just an observer, but
Well, actually, instead of hop, could you just be like, jump around, jump? No.
Oh.
Oh, come on,
boy.
come on, man. Come on.
get off your seat and jump around.
Jump around.
Jump around.
What was that voice? What was? Hold on.
I
You
don't-
got me
I-
there. What was that voice you just did?
I heard it somewhere.
Just jump around.
Just jump around. don't know.
God. Anyways, yes, and then every choice matters because and that made the time travel device feel powerful and not My God, Matt, you started with the stuttering stuff, and you're making me stutter.
Hey.
Anyways, that's not convenient. There we go, because I'm trying to make this make more sense.
Yes.
So yes, again, these were just kind of like what Matt was saying, really the foundation. Because at this point, especially where a lot of movies have, I would say they've definitely, made it somewhat weird depending on I was always thinking of now granted, I know Star Trek really didn't necessarily go back in the past, but I mean, could they have with what they had in their technology? Probably. But I mean, at that time,
they went into the future. So
well, I mean, right, but they weren't going back in the past because they knew that they probably shouldn't. But yes, you are right. They did go time travel in the sense of being.
well, they actually in the movie they did.
They went back in the past.
Yeah.
Oh well, then there you go. See, I didn't know that.
In the movie they did.
But anyway,
I don't remember quite how they did it. I have to watch the movie again. But yeah.
Yes, and now we got.
So it's the Golden Age versus the Chaos Era. I don't know if this is just a ChatGPT thing calling it this, or if this was actually a real thing. But we have a few movies in each of these where, we look at the key ideas within the golden era of these films. And again, we're not talking about every single film within these particular, time frames. But there's particular the golden age, which is you can imagine by the name. These movies get it right in some regard, in most regards. And I mean, the first one we've already talked about, which is Back to the Future, where every ripple that was made is traceable. It goes back to a certain thing. Like Marty alters a moment, and the entire timeline in the future changes.
Well, right, and that's why Doc, when he would come back, he's like, "Oh wait, we got to go even further, and now we got to go in the future." And then, they just kind of go back and forth here. But
Right.
it's crazy to see how a movie like that, started this really phenomenon because it really brought it to another level. I mean, plus I would say yes, the first one has always been, I would say probably the better of the three, but even the other ones, I mean, I think in general when you put them all together. It's really funny because in most movies they wouldn't actually, because in the second one and the third one, what they do is they actually say, okay, now here's what just happened in part one, and they literally brought you into the movie again, and then it's like, oh hey, we're right here now.
Right.
Not many movies just literally time everything together, and just dropping everything. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's Back to the Future. We've talked about it. So I actually love this movie. But it came out in 95, and that's 12 Monkeys. I love this movie, Bruce Willis movie, and it introduced fatalism to mainstream audiences. So Bruce Willis isn't trying to change history; he's only trying to really understand it. And the loop closes perfectly. So what he witnesses as a child is his own death, and it's haunting because it obeys strict determinism. And if you don't know what 12 Monkeys is.
So I'm going to be honest, man.
I'm going to look it up right now because I haven't seen it in a long time. But
so, man, you're not gonna like me. I actually never seen it. So he's like, you dummy.
You're a fucking asshole.
Hey, well, you're a fucking asshole, and you knew we were gonna do this episode. But anyways, go ahead, man.
So 12 Monkeys it came out in 95. It's Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's awesome in this movie, by the way. Um, it's actually based on a 1962 short film.
No kidding.
But it's set in a post-apocalyptic future devastated by disease. And the
Yes,
film
monkeys.
follows a convict who's sent back in time to gather information about the man-made virus that wiped out most of the human population on the planet. I mean, that's putting it very, very basic, but he's trying to gather information on who created the virus, like what, when it's going to happen. Like this is like what, like he's trying to find this information out.
So I find it interesting. So could this be like almost like a COVID-19 thing? Like in that sense? I mean, now I'm only saying that like this because
I think it's a little bit more than.
No, I get that, but I mean, if you think about it, right? Like this, when you think of like the 1918 Spanish flu, okay, it wiped out. I want to say millions of people, at least millions of people, in all that sense. I mean, it could have gone even further, but granted, they wiped. It did what it needed to do. But I mean, I'm not saying with COVID. I mean, if we didn't know how to fix it, right? I mean, it could have been that bad in this sense. I mean, I get it. It is what it is, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had to do more with like something more of a plague type virus, not like
also like a bubonic plague kind of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was more of a. I mean, the 12 Monkeys name is because there's an army of the 12 Monkeys, is what they're called in the movie. And he's trying to uncover this and figure it out. But the movie is really, really good, and it's dark. It kind of is really depressing, but it's one of these movies that he goes back in time and they pull him back out and they're trying to find information, and they like he's a prisoner, so it's like he doesn't really have a choice. So they're like, no, you're going back in, and they send him back in, and it just he's witnessing this happen over and over and over and over again. Because he's trying to find all this information out, but by the time he gets to finding anything out or nothing out, it's already like the virus is already out there. So they pull him back in and they send him right back to the same time. You know what I mean? So it's
like a Groundhog Day all over again.
Right. So it's just one of those movies that's like, it's just a constant loop. And he's just, it's just one of those movies. It's really, really good.
I mean, it sounds like it. It is kind of depressing because you're just literally watching the same thing over and over and over again. Now, granted, after a while, I would think that he would know exactly what he needs to do, what he needs to do in that sense. But I mean, I get it. If you're doing it over and over and over again, like, yeah, it get really depressing really quick because you're the only one noticing like what exactly is going on. But then this next one, Donnie Darko. So, yes, I know it was with Jake Gyllenhaal, who was the main character. But yes, and oh my God, Matt, why did you stutter? And because now it's affecting me. Anyways, this existential take, time travel as mental illness, guilt, and sacrifice. It's weird, but it respects its own logic. So one temporal anomaly, there we go, causes emotional resolution, and Donnie's choice collapses the loop by accepting death. And this is also a really weird and dark.
Yes,
movie.
this is, yeah. It's, I mean, the film follows Donnie Darko, and he's a troubled teenager who inadvertently escapes a bizarre accident by sleepwalking. He has visions of Frank, a mysterious figure in a rabbit costume who informs him that the world will end in 28 days.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a very dark, story. I mean, there's, paranoid schizophrenia, daylight hallucinations,
just basically your typical mental health walking person just dealing with this every day. So it really defines all that. That's great.
It's one of those questions is like, is he really time traveling or is it mental health? You really don't know.
I mean, probably both.
Probably both, yeah.
But
yeah, the key idea is that the golden era films made the emotion the constant variable. Like their timelines bent around purpose, and you could diagram them on paper because they worked. They were finite stories about people, not infinite excuses for sequels.
And see, that was a
Which
good.
is kind of a burn, actually.
Well, no, I mean, you know what? Here's the thing, though. Some movies shouldn't have sequels because there's definitely some that
That is
end on
very,
a
very
good
true,
note.
yes.
Right now, Back to the Future, sure, you can have your trilogy because that's exactly what they did. But if you were to take these other two, do you really want to have a sequel? Do you really need to have more information about what was going on in the first one to then have another one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because I mean, kind of moving forward, when we go into this chaos era, right? So this is the part where some of it is good, and then some of it you're just like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the goal of this?
I mean, this is not the first game, but
and not the first game; it's the end game. Yes.
But yeah, on the surface, you don't question it. You're like, hey, I mean, this movie's great. Like, I love it. It's great. It's great. But if you really think about it, like really think about the logic they're using, and I'm throwing it out there, like the logic that Marvel and the MCU used in Endgame for time travel. Okay? So this is where Ant-Man suggests the classic, like, Back to the Future approach. You go to the past, you change something, fix the future, right? Like, we remember him saying this. Bruce Banner immediately says, if you travel the past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future. So that complicated line of dialogue, in other words, claims that time travel doesn't alter the original timeline and you branch off into a new one. This is the MCU's multiverse model. And later on, when Banner meets the Ancient One, she doubles down on that when she shows Bruce the glowing line diagram. When she removes she removes the Infinity Stones, the timeline splits into a second thing. When she returned it restored. At that moment, like, we knew this is the clear logic. You can't change your own timeline. You only create alternate ones. We get this. It's clear.
So the only thing I'm going to say is this, is that, yes, and I'm going to say this, Matt. Yes, Matt knows that I have a basically poster of the movie because
Yes,
it is one of my still favorites. I mean, granted, it is the second best movie of all time when it comes to when we're talking about earnings. Okay, when we're talking about
I'm not saying it's a great movie.
No.
I'm just saying the time travel logic is messed up. And we're going to get into that, but finish.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, though, is that, yes, I do agree that the MCU really wanted to be different in the sense of, like, okay, instead of, like, making everything linear and changing one thing, we'll do this. I mean, I will say it's a great, and it does make sense in the whole alternate timeline thing in the sense of what we're talking about because, yes, at the time we were like, okay, this could be good depending on which way you go about it. As we know right now, it's the dumbest thing we could have ever done.
Right. And how it was executed in the movie, I mean, I just have two examples, but how it was executed was not good. And there's two that I have. And the very first one, the second one is worse, but the first one is when Thanos from 2014, the 2014 is in the movie. So Thanos from 2014 gets killed in 2023.
Yes.
But by the movie's own rules, it should not have affected the original MCU timeline at all. If you can't change the past is true then at that moment in 2014.
No,
Because as soon as Thanos jumps forward in time, he should have created a brand new branch.
no. I do agree that, when Tony, snaps his fingers and then, he basically makes him disappear. Now, granted, that could have been the only exception at that time, but that was the only, I would think that would be the only exception because everything else, you're right.
But here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. It's as soon as the 2014 jumped to 2023. It should have created a new branch.
Correct.
And in the original 2014 timeline, there should still be a version of Thanos that is still alive and still doing his thing in 2014 and a version of the 2014 in 2023.
True.
There would be two now.
No, but if in the sense of like
If
I
we're
said,
that's if we're using the same logic.
that's
Because
true.
that's exactly what Banner said. That
Correct.
you can't change the past. I'm assuming you can't also change what happens in the future. So if you are essentially switching timelines, Thanos would have created a brand new branch.
Correct. And like I said, I do agree with that. And like I said, I mean,
And I get it. Like if he, when Tony does the snap, does it kill all Thanoses across all multiverses?
I don't know.
Well, no, because it doesn't, because he's going to be in Secret Wars. So it doesn't really, I don't think that lines up either. But I think it killed that one.
Right. I think it killed him in that moment, but you're right. Because you can't go in the past and kill him.
I think it killed that one that was in 2023. But again, there would still be another version in 2014 that is still there.
Well, because again, you need to have something. Like it still happened. Like you can't just get
Right.
rid of everything in general. I mean, hold on. They did get rid of Kang, so I guess did that.
Well,
I'm just saying.
so here's another one, and I know you'll resonate with this one because it's your boy. This is one that both the Russos and the writers disagreed on, and both versions still do not make sense to the logic that, again, Bruce Banner himself, his own rules. So Captain America staying in the past with Peggy should have created a completely separate branch on the timeline.
Correct.
One where he lives a full life, never freezes, never joins the Avengers, never time travels. By Banner's own rules, that Steve should remain in that branch permanently.
True.
Yet Endgame has an elderly Steve appear on the bench in the main timeline, which is impossible without violating the movie's core time travel logic. So the two explanations fans have tried to make is option A, which is the Russo version, that Steve lived his life with Peggy in a branch timeline, and then decades later used Pym particles or quantum tech to hop back to the main MCU timeline just long enough to ham Sam the Shield. And this actually aligns with the rules of the movie, but it requires an off-screen quantum jump the film never acknowledges or sets up.
Which I could agree. If that was actually
But how would he get that?
You're right, because he would need to know who. Because if he never technically met them, how does that? Right? How is that possible? I don't know.
He would have had to meet them much later on. So
yeah. I know.
It's plausible, but I don't know. If he was going to live his whole life with Peggy, like I don't know. And we all know that he ages a lot slower than normal humans do because of the serum. So it's not like he
right. I mean, granted, when he was technically in this movie, by the time he got and was holding that shield with, giving the shield to Sam. My God, man, I swear you need to stop stuttering. Anyways, is that he was going to be sitting there, and I mean, granted, if we're thinking about it, I mean, he could have been born. If I can't remember exactly when, I don't know if it was like 18 or like whatever. I don't know if it was like 1920s. The point is like by the time he was here, he was at least 100 years old. That's the thing, though, and like he was at least 100 years old, even though yes, with the serum.
And I don't think that he actually did time jump or use the Pym particles or the quantum tech to hop back. I think he literally probably just lived his life and then was sitting there. That's what I think. I don't think he jumped at all.
No, I think he just knew exactly where to be at the right time.
Right. And this is the writer's version where Steve lived his life with Peggy in the main MCU timeline all along, meaning he was secretly there the entire time, staying out of history's way.
And see,
then he got to a point where he realized, I'm too old now and I need to pass this on. And that's where we get to that story where he knew where they were going to be.
But see, here's the thing though. I don't really know. Like I could see the first part, like the Russo's part, because I could see that because of the fact that he goes back in time. He puts all the stones. I honestly think there should be a short film just based off this to really explain of why he was doing what he was like, where he was
But
at. All this stuff. But
that
I know-
second one means that there would be two Captain Americas that would have existed side by side for decades. There would be one at home, basically eating Peggy's casserole, mowing the lawn, being a person,
right?
and then there's one frozen in ice.
I mean,
Which means when all that shit in Endgame happens,
that's a different Steve.
that's a different Steve, not the one with Peggy.
Well, no, because basically what you're doing is you're making really a continuous cycle. Because then, if you think about it, yeah, he'll have the same knowledge if he goes back in time. Because what it is he's living. It's literally a cycle. This really reminds me of like Time Splitters. You remember what I'm talking about? Like
I know what you're saying.
That's exactly what he's doing.
But
And that's what I think he might have been doing. That could have been actually what it is.
But that's like the brutal truth is the old Steve Rogers sitting on the bench is literally impossible. Because the logic doesn't land because there's no closed loop. You have two Rogers that exist in the same time.
No,
So
I agree.
When he's literally standing looking at the house, he would already see himself dancing with Peggy. You know what I mean? Like that's the loop that he would see. And you would have like this loop would continue on. So he would be standing there and then another one would fucking show up because it's a different, it's all these time like you're creating all like
I understand.
timeline after timeline after time. So basically, what there's like a million timelines with he's just create.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's this constant circle, and that's all it's doing, and that's the only way I could see it actually basically working. Because you're right. I mean, there's so many.
Every time he goes and doesn't come back, it just creates a brand new timeline, and you're just creating new timelines every time.
Maybe that's why Loki had to fix it, right?
Hey,
maybe I don't know.
So we also got Tenet, 2020. Dude, I don't know. You probably haven't seen this movie either, but I did.
No, I haven't.
This is Christopher Nolan's time inversion. It's really ambiguous, but it's cold. Everything runs backward and forward, and yet none of it lands emotionally because the characters are exposition machines. Like the science is wrong. It's just inaccessible. So it's like the movie's really confusing. You have to watch it more than once to really understand the movie. So the real question really is, did Nolan over-engineer time travel into pure mathematics? The movie, as far as a filmmaking perspective, is good. But as a watcher, you just can't relate to the movie. Because there's so much going on and you're like, I don't know what's happening right now.
And see, that would be, I don't know if I'd want to watch it multiple times just to get the fucking point across, or just be like, oh, that's what he meant by that. Why would I want to do that? I don't know.
Yeah. And then we get the Flash.
Oh
boy.
Oh, yeah.
Timeline spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti.
The rules change depending on which cameo needs saving. Barry creates multiple universes, merges them, breaks them, and then shrugs.
Listen, though.
Even the director said, don't think too hard.
Listen. So, but Matt and I can agree that this version of the Flash
sucks.
What? Oh, this
the movie.
Oh, the movie. Oh, my bad. I thought we were talking about the TV show. My bad.
No, the movie.
The movie. My bad. Yes, the movie. No, that can just get thrown away, tossed in a dumpster.
I'm not talking about the show.
Oh no, if it was the show,
I'm talking about the movie.
Now, if it was the show, or the guy who plays it in the show, like Grant Gustin.
The fact that the director of the movie is saying, "Don't think too hard. Don't worry about the CGI. We meant to do it like that."
Did you?
Did you really mean to do it like that?
Let's try this again. Matt and I have also talked about this in the past. When he's doing this stupid fucking is waving his hands.
Did you really mean to put the Adam West Batman with no bat ears in your movie? Because that's what happened. You had him in there with no bat ears.
And then technically you threw in Nicolas Cage, which, yes, there was a version at one point that was supposed to happen where he was supposed to play Superman.
Awful.
It was like I know, but the point is, though, is like this version of the Flash, because Mom's Spaghetti was terrible in this movie.
Yeah.
It really didn't do it any justice, and it really didn't make any sense. I mean, but both Matt and I agree that the character itself, right, was horrible. There was no really understanding of relatability to what really true fans, when you look at the Flash in this version, it really didn't do it any justice. And I think they just threw a fucking movie together to be like, okay, let's sell some tickets, guys. And you're like, okay, well, let's see.
Yeah.
And then, oh wait, guess what? The character, or let's rephrase that, the actor who played the Flash, what happened, Matt? What did he get charged with?
Oh, I don't remember what the fuck.
Well, I think it was like something. I don't know if it was like assault or something. Like basically, he was thrown into jail.
He had some legal issues.
So the point is, did you really do a good job in general? No, I think you did terrible. But I will admit this right here, because this is a TV show. Because Matt you can't tell me no. But anyways, yes, Loki.
Loki was a great show.
Oh no, we both can agree that yes, Loki. When it came to TV shows that Marvel did, this one actually made a lot of sense, and I think it really did it some justice.
It did do something that Marvel is using now, and this is the thing. Like Loki started strong. It was the clever bureaucracy meets time travel, and then it sort of drowned in its own sacred timeline contradictions. Like the TVA logic was everything's predetermined until we need free will again, But this is where it used Loki as this MCU's way to use time travel as this kind of continuity broom. Like, we can sweep away characters, we can sweep away old storylines, and we can make room for new ones.
Well, it's kind of like DC Elseworlds, baby. Because that's exactly what Marvel did. I mean, they took basically the same script that DC did.
Yeah, I mean, it's the multiverse, whatever.
Like, DC Elseworlds.
Yeah.
But in this case, Marvel, who gives a shit?
Marvel,
here we go.
Who cares? Yeah. What's a sweep? We'll sweep away this whole. I mean, we'll get rid of this old dusty thing.
Who gives a fuck about Kang? Hell, don't worry about him. He's in an alternate timeline. Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
Oh.
So the thematic shift is then it's not time travel explained why we exist, whether it was fate, regret, redemption, and now time travel explains why sequels exist.
Yeah, you don't fucking say.
The Golden Age said choices have consequences. The Chaos Era says, we'll reboot it next phase.
Guys, fuck it. Why not?
So, what do you say? You go into some, I fixed it?
Let's do it, baby.
Hey, I fixed it. Hollywood broke it. Drop that mic, yeah. We roast it, smoke it. Blueprints here. Follow it.
Follow it!
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. We're jumping ahead now. Anyways, AI fixed it. Yes. This time, we're going to be talking about actually one of my favorite series. I don't know if you can agree or not, if it was one of your favorites.
You know what? I've played a few of, I've played not all. I mean, there's like 17,000 Assassin's Creed games. I mean, there's like Assassin's Creed Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed, Hobby Lobby.
Did you know that there's Assassin's Creed COD? No, well, what? Wait, well, who made that game? I don't know. No, but
Assassin's Creed Disneyland. Yeah, I mean, there's a shit ton of them. I mean, who knows?
Assassin's Creed, I will say, like in the very beginning, like especially when you started playing.
I love this first line.
Hold on before you jump ahead. So with Assassin's Creed though, I mean, it's really done a great job with the open world. Being basically an assassin, you're flying around, you're just learning about history as well and like different time periods and all this stuff. But like the biggest thing is like, sorry, it just came out of nowhere. Is that, when you're looking at like Altair, right? He was the first character technically in the timeline. And I know it's going to sound weird, but like there's so many other Assassin's Creeds. But, when you looked at the Desmond Miles timeline, from this very first one, Assassin's Creed, all the way to, I believe I want to say it was Black Flag or one of the, I want to say it was Black Flag. I think that was the last one. Because it was that one. No, actually, I think it was Assassin's Creed 3.
I think it was Brotherhood.
No. So like he died in, I want to say it was either Black Flag or, it had to be Black Flag. I think it was Black Flag when Desmond Miles died. I believe that's what it was, or it could have been a different one. But the point is after a certain point, it became something else because yes, Matt, we'll talk about this in a minute, but like it just became something else because the whole Desmond Miles thing, because that's what we were looking at. And then when he died in like the game, that's when they started to like, hey, we're just gonna throw some random, fucking Assassin's Creed in here, and you're like,
China. Yeah.
don't you start Russia. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What? But anyways, yes. So here, let's start with this. Okay, so we got some five
Hey,
real problems.
don't skip that opening
Oh,
line.
okay,
man.
fine. Ready? In the opening line here, ready? The movie that assassinated itself. You're right.
Yes.
It did assassinate.
We are talking about the movie now. We're not talking about the games.
I know. I did want to talk about the games, but yes, if we're talking about the movie,
we will be talking about the games at some point. We have a three episode
I jumped
arc with the
ahead,
games.
but
we are talking about the movie that was made about
which is
the games.
absolutely terrible. That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, let's go jump right in.
So 5 real problems with Assassin's Creed the movie. One, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing this right. The Animus.
Yes, the Animus.
The Animus redesign was a franchise-wrecking war crime.
Absolutely.
So they took one of the coolest sci-fi devices in gaming, the sleek, ominous neural recliner, and replaced it with a robotic chiropractor arm that looked like it escaped from a Chuck E. Cheese overhaul. The single choice derailed the movie's tone, killed immersion, and made every memory sequence feel like a VR CrossFit class. The Animus wasn't world building, it was self-sabotage.
When you have literally, again, follow the damn blueprint. It shouldn't be that hard, because if you can take a video game and look at it and say, okay, this is literally what it should look like, and you basically want to make it look like a fucking robotic chiropractor arm, like, in my opinion, like, what's the fucking point of that?
It basically just flung him around like a rag doll.
Like,
I mean, when you're watching him, like, it's flinging him around. Like, yeah, it wasn't sleek. It wasn't ominous. Like
It wasn't. Well, first of all, it wouldn't even be close to what really Assassin's Creed is. And then here we go. Ready? Here's another great one right here. The plot was as bland as an apple fetch quest with none of the Creed soul. So the game wrestled with truth, free will, rebellion, corruption, and generational trauma, which is true. The movie wrestled with finding a glowing orb. That's it. This franchise had thousands of years of ideological warfare baked into the DNA, and the writers somehow landed on, go get the magic thingy.
go get that magic thingy over there.
Go get that snitch. Or that. Anyways, it's the narrative equivalent of ordering a steak and then being handed a chicken wrapper. Like, seriously? Well, no. I mean, it's true. If you're all you're doing is finding the glowing orb. Now, granted, in the games in the beginning, yes, I mean the goal was you're basically
weren't they looking for it was like the apple of Eden or something?
Yes, it was the apple of Eden. But the thing is like yes, you would have to go through the main basically quest, and you'd have to do all that, and then it would kind of jump out back to Desmond's time, and then you do some stuff, and then you go back into the basically back into the past. But the issue is you're still playing, when you're playing the game, you're in it and you're trying to figure out what the Templars are doing in that time period to figure out who, well, first of all, who's the main, we'll call it the villain, or the main, antagonist, in that sense. But at the end of the day, once they found that object, then he would go back into the, real time and be like, okay, we got to go find it here in Italy or wherever they're at that time. But if you're only finding a fucking basically looks like a bowling ball that's made out of glass and it's glowing, okay, well, what the fuck is that gonna do?
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo, dazzle. Who cares? At this point.
So number 3, Cal Lynch was written with the emotional depth of a broken USB stick.
Wow.
Yeah. So Michael Fassbender is a monster of an actor. They gave him nothing. No arc, no motivation, no personality. He brooded, he grunted, and he let the robot arm fling him around like a depressed piñata.
Oh, God.
He wasn't a character, he was a save file with abs. Assassin's Creed is built on personal stories, and they made the lead guy an empty loading screen.
I mean, so yes, I agree. Michael Fassbender is a great actor.
We actually had him as the lead character in Echoverse.
We did.
That's right. The main villain.
That is true. But the biggest thing about this, too, is that especially where you're basically trying, because I know he's supposed to be his own kind of character. He's not even Desmond. He's whoever else it is. But in my opinion,
I thought he was kind of like a criminal or something.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, but you would think that if you're going to follow that, you would follow like the Desmond Miles story. Like, you know what I mean? At least that main part of it. Because, like, or try to find somebody that could be close enough to it.
I think they were. I mean, obviously the writers were not.
No, they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, they were not Assassin's Creed or
No.
probably gamers in general, but they were like, "Hey, let's create something."
Well, right, and the biggest thing is like you get a guy like him, you're not giving him enough, like you said, motivation, personality, anything. I mean, you're just you'd be like, all right, get in there and just do your thing, and you're like, well, what? Like,
Yeah.
where's the creativity? Where's all the shit that again?
There's
you
none.
have a blueprint.
Yeah, there's none.
Follow it. You know,
Follow it.
follow it. See, anyways, but yes, the Templars. Okay, ready? Here we go. The Templars were defanged into PowerPoint villains. That's a great way to put it. In the games, the Templars are terrifying manipulators who rewrite history from the shadows, which is true. In the movie, they're rich people complaining about free will free will like it's a parking violation. Okay, fair enough. Their meetings look like an HOA gathering run by Sith interns. The threat level 0, and the Templars are supposed to be the big brother with knives, not a corporate retreat with mood lighting. I'm just gonna say this. You're right. I mean, the Templars. The biggest thing is like in each of the games, right? They always kind of change. Like some of the characters, I would say most of the villains or like the Templars wise, usually have changed because again, either they eventually will, Desmond kills them or whatever happens, and they kind of move on and they keep going. So they always have somebody different, at least when like the main villain, like in the real timeline or the real story when they're, in present day. But like, in each of the games though, yeah, of course, every time period is different, right? So like when you're
Right.
thinking of Black Flag, I mean, shit, you get to meet Blackbeard. You get to meet, all the different characters from like history for like in the Caribbeans and all of that stuff. But like, you go to, for example, Assassin's Creed 3, which is basically the Revolutionary War. You're meeting George Washington. You're meeting Benjamin Franklin. You're meeting literally like all of the damn people that in the American Revolutionary time frame. Like, so, it's interesting to see. I mean, shit, even the Brotherhood and all the games in the trilogy wise, you're looking at literally history, like Michelangelo, you're Leonardo da Vinci, like you're meeting the characters like you would think you would be meeting in that time period. So that's the thing where it would made it really special because you're learning about the history, you're learning all this stuff. But like, if they're just like, okay, guys, we're just here to talk about our fees, about our HOA, and basically make it really dull and boring. Like, what the fuck am I watching then?
Yeah, I mean they were meant to be, like I said, terrifying manipulators who are rewriting history from way back then, and that was like the whole point of him going back was trying to find out about what the freaking Templars were doing.
Right, and the devices that they were using. Oh my!
So I mean that was like the whole point, but the movie did not make them as terrifying as they were in the game.
No, I mean, sorry, I don't know why. I'm sorry, but anyways, no, I agree. I just think that if you're gonna make a villain in a movie like really personable, really like relatable, or at least in the case of like this, where again you have a blueprint and you have all this stuff, then why not follow that? Like, why again? You literally could have used the Desmond Miles storyline, used maybe like the first couple or the first couple games, whatever. Take some ideas from that and stick with it. Don't make it fucking boring and dull at the end of the day.
Right. So number 5, the action was edited like a GoPro fell in a blender. So Assassin's Creed should be poetry in motion, fluid parkour, clear hits, elegant choreography. The movie, well, it gave us quick hits, a shaky cam, smoke everywhere, and obviously camera operators that have inner ear imbalances. Instead of breathtaking assassin sequences, we got, guess which body part you're looking at?
Oh, God.
It's hard to enjoy a leap of faith when the director films it like he's being chased by bees. It's one of the greatest moments in any of the games. I'm throwing it out there. I mean, it's one of those moments like when you're doing it, you almost get the butterflies in your stomach because of how far you're falling. Right?
You're talking about the leap of faith.
When you take that leap of faith and you fall into the the thing of hay.
Yeah, that's usually what it is in every single one. Yeah.
Yeah. it's one of the greatest moments. But it's like, what are we doing in this movie? Like, what are we looking at right now?
No,
It's like, come on.
I was going to say this too a second ago. You literally, when you just mentioned some of that earlier, I was literally trying to drink it. Man, Matt, I swear. Why did you?
I don't know why you're blaming me.
I don't know. I am blaming you because you started it, and now I'm just picking up every single time. But anyways, no, I was trying to drink some water, and God forbid I did anything, and all of a sudden I'm trying to drink, and you're just like, you said something funny, and I'm like, God, and I just spilled water all over me. But anyways, no, I if you're gonna make it, like you said, like that oh my God moment, like you're jumping in.
It shouldn't be chaotic. Like, Assassin's Creed was not a chaotic, like when you're fighting, like the camera's not moving all around. Like the fights, like as soon as you pulled out your little arm blade and like you were going in, like it was so cinematic and like showed like it wasn't just like it zoomed in and it was like shaky and like
no, I mean
Mortal Kombat style. You know what I mean?
It's not like finish him. And like you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't crazy. So let's get to the 5 fixes because we still got more episode to get to.
Yes, we do.
So the 5 fixes: restore the Animus and make it a mind-shredding horror device. So bring back the iconic Animus pod, make it sinister.
There you go.
Every session pushes Cal closer into dissolving into his ancestor's identity. Memories bleed into one another. The cost of using the Animus becomes a ticking psychological time bomb. Now you have the stakes, real stakes, not a robot arm go wee.
No, here we go. Build the story around the creed versus Templar philosophy, not the apple. So put the ideological war front and center. Cal should slowly see the Templars manipulate society, how they rewrite history, and how they weaponize order. He shouldn't fight for an artifact. He should fight because the creed finally gives him something real to believe in. Make the audience care about the conflict and not the MacGuffin. And it's true because, going back to that even first part of it, like, yeah, I mean, you need to have some stakes here. You need to have something that's going to be a little bit more like thrilling and like exciting and adventurous and this and that. And like, in this where, okay, cool. You have a fucking, a glowing orb. Okay. Well, like, I would think like if this is like the end of the world, because that's what the Templars were basically doing in every game. They were trying to basically restore order to the world. That was their main mission. Like their main mission was literally to, take an object from the past, use it into the future, and like recreate basically history as the present day. So make it like that. But like you said, like getting into an Animus pod, make it like holy shit. Like if he's getting in there, guess what? Now he's going to become basically his ancestor, and he's going to become basically them and not like himself. In this case, looking at the Templars, like they don't need to be some fucking PowerPoint villains. They need to have some stakes into this too.
Yeah. So number 3, give Cal a legit arc from broken criminal to awakened assassin. Start him angry, lost, directionless. Let the Animus show him who he could be through his ancestor. The discipline, the purpose, the rebellion. So his transformation should feel earned. It should be painful, and it should be spiritual. I mean, come on. Like by the end, he doesn't just join the creed, he chooses it. And at that point, like we would have our protagonist because he would actually exist because he has a legit arc. Like it's not just him being flung around with the robot arm go wee, and it's like, oh, I found the apple of destiny. It's like, you know what I mean? Like there's something that he goes throughout the movie. And with, tied up with 2 and 3, it's like you have a legit arc there.
Right.
He goes through something.
And then, rebuild the Templars into a terrifying surveillance empire. Modern, relentless, everywhere. They run biometric data companies, social networks, police tech, global cloud infrastructure. Their apple of Eden isn't mind control. It's perfect behavioral prediction. Make them Silicon Valley meets the Vatican meets Hydra. There you go. And then suddenly the threat feels real instead of a TED Talk cringe. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's what I mean. I'm glad I got this one again. I mean, the Templars, I'm going to say it, man, they were just a bunch of pussies. They just weren't really doing anything. They were just basically sitting there like, okay.
They weren't that. I can tell you that.
No, they weren't even close to, I mean, Silicon Valley meets the Vatican meets Hydra. I mean, I would be like, holy shit,
Yeah,
like that's crazy. Now I'll just take this last one. You know what? You've done enough talking. It's okay. He's like, you bastard. Anyways, like shoot the action like the games, wide shots, real stunts, parkour as storytelling. No more shaky cam jazz. No more shaky cam nonsense. Anyways, give us long takes. Give us rooftop chases where you can actually see the stunt team. Give us hidden blades used with surgical precision. Give us leap of faith shots that make the audience stomach drop.
That's what I'm saying.
And I agree. You know, an Assassin's Creed should look like a ballet of violence, not a Bourne movie with anemia. God. Oh, God. I'll fine here. You can do the punchline, okay?
So, yeah, if Hollywood made this version, Assassin's Creed would have launched a franchise instead of becoming a cinematic equivalent of desyncing. I mean, at least now the Creed has something the movie never had, a pulse.
I mean, and like I said, I guess really to end on this note, it's like, you know, Assassin's Creed needs to be exciting. Like when and you know what? I'm going to say this to Matt real quick. When we, or I don't know if he watched it with me or I think he might have watched it by himself. The Uncharted movie.
I think I watched it by myself.
Okay. So granted, I know you weren't like a real kind of big fan.
I was not a fan.
No, I mean, I didn't mind it, but I mean, it is a little weird that I think it was the actor choices that you chose. But like,
it's the actor choices and it's the story. I mean,
well, no, but I mean, hold on, it did follow. It was and the only problem is because I played all the games. The only problem is it was like taking a story from like the very first game to then this last game now that we just had. So the only thing is, at least it took from the story. It just didn't make any sense timeline wise. But the only thing about this is that it needs to at least take something from the series of games, because at least if you could take the first couple games or take it from something like that, at least you'd have substance with it.
I mean, I don't know. It's still even. I mean, you can take this movie, you can take anything, even The Last of Us, and I know. Season 1 was phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Season 2, what the fuck happened with that? Like,
Season 1 is the golden standard of what it should have been.
I can say I'm not a huge Pedro Pascal fan, to be honest, but Season 1 was phenomenal. You could go scene for scene with the game, and
it did.
Granted, Season 2, there are aspects of it where you can go, oh, that's right. And Season 2 took so many more. It took so much more like leeway, and we're veering off this way, I think. And it was like, what are we doing here?
No, but like, you know, Matt and I agreed when, you know, The Last of Us came out, like, yes, the whole, what we're talking about, like, it was.
I'd be very surprised if they do a new one. And if they do a new one, it's not going to even.
No, and I agree. But I mean, even getting back to this, it's like, you really just need, again, you have a fucking blueprint. You have the material. You have all the stuff. You literally could make a great movie, or even, it doesn't even have to be a series of movies. I mean, if you were just going to do a one-off.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to make a video game into a movie, get fucking writers that were responsible for making the game.
Or.
There's no or.
No, hold on. Or at least have played the game.
I don't care about playing the game. You need somebody who was there when the game was made, because
I'm not.
They're the only ones who know how, like, the story behind the game.
No, I agree.
We can say that we played the game, but we don't know the inner workings of the character better than somebody who actually made the game.
No, okay, fine. I do agree. Yes, but at least get knowledge in it. I'm just saying, because they clearly didn't. Again, They just chose random ass people and said, okay, fuck it. We're just going to go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah.
But getting back to.
It is what it is. Yeah. So back to the time travel in movies. This is when time travel broke the plot.
Oh, God. This is the worst one of all.
We're talking, I mean, we did already talk about Avengers. We did already talk about The Flash, but we'll kind of define some things about The Flash. But I just want to get to this X-Men timeline disaster.
Okay, before we even go over any further, man, this is probably the worst honestly version of how time travel or basically alternate timelines should even go in any kind of series of films or movie or just anything.
Yeah,
at this
so
point.
every sequel retconned the last movie. And the X-Men franchise, this goes from 2000 to 2020. The X-Men franchise is a masterclass of how not to manage time travel.
That is absolutely correct.
So continuity was already wobbly at this point. But once Days of Future Past came along in 2014, they used time travel as a cosmic eraser.
They sure did.
So let's talk about just how this thing unraveled, because it's just one of those things. X-Men: The Last Stand kills off major characters. Days of Future Past undoes it all. I mean, we're talking not just like any character. We're also talking all of them, like all of them, pretty much major characters. I mean, Last Stand was pretty much they're all dead.
Pretty much.
And then Days of Future Past, it's like,
Just kidding.
just kidding.
We're back.
First Class establishes a 1960s origin, yet the characters somehow age at a snail's pace over 40 years.
40 years. No, you're right.
How
I
does
mean,
that happen?
No, because by the time,
I mean, Wolverine, obviously, I could understand.
but for example, when you look at Professor X or Beast, come on,
Come on.
that doesn't look right.
Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix contradict the reboot continuity entirely.
Don't even get me started on. I've
mean,
actually watched Dark Phoenix. And that was terrible.
I forget which one of these movies, where Professor X dies at the end. When
It was
when Jean Grey turns into Phoenix.
It was Dark Phoenix. It was that one.
Was it the newer one or was it the older one?
There was no older one. Oh, yeah.
No, it was in the
okay.
for the original franchises.
So, well, in the newer one, I believe
it wasn't the newer one.
Oh,
it was
that's
the
right. It was the
original
older-
Jean
yeah.
Grey. She like
it basically he just splits them apart.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
there's an end scene in one of the movies where I think he had like a twin or like a spare body,
yeah.
and he was able right before he died to shift his consciousness. I'm not even joking with you. Like, you can actually look up this scene, like it really exists. He pulled like an Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
And he shifted his consciousness. I think it was like a twin brother. I want to say it was a twin brother. He shifted his consciousness into the body, and he became Professor Xavier again. And he was alive. I'm alive.
I'm alive. No, I mean, because if you think about it, he only had one sibling. Well, yes, we didn't really know about the twin brother thing, but like Juggernaut was only his. Technically, I think it was his either stepbrother or half brother or something like that. I don't know, one of the two.
No, he had a parasitic.
Yeah, well, that's right. He had
Yeah.
It was again. What we're talking about here is it's so weird, even between the
But
movies.
they used
and the
it. I mean,
comics, but
Fox used it as a panic button. Like, they were like, no. We need these characters, so we're just gonna we're just gonna reboot the thing.
or we say we're back.
We're back, yeah. We already talked about Avengers Endgame, so we're not gonna get into that paradox again.
No, and then of course, well, we've already talked about the Flash in that sense.
But there are things. So Speed Force logic changes scene to scene in this movie. And we're talking about the movie, not the show. So Speed Force is supposed to be Barry Allen's unique connection to time and space. This is DC's version of a cosmic constant. In the Flash, it's more like narrative silly putty. And then this is how it fails. Scene to scene, the rules change. In one, Barry can alter the past without catastrophic consequences. In the next, he's rearranging history like a Lego set. And the whole Chrono Bowl visualization looks cool, but makes no internal sense. Each run produces floating 3D memories that rewrite themselves inconsistently. And this is like, the movie tries to sell this emotional weight saving his mom, but he erases it with fan service cameos and multiversal mashups. Yeah, I mean, it confuses guilt and grief, which like should have been central to the character, with this like nostalgia and spectacle. You know, you bring in Nicolas Cage and you bring in, the original 80s Batman. Like, you bring in all these characters and it's like, who gives a shit if your movie sucks?
Well, no, I
Right?
mean,
Like,
because if you think about it, especially in the comic books, I mean, Flashpoint was a very pivotal moment for not even just Barry. I mean, granted, it was like the entire Justice League and all the different characters too, but like, especially in this case, when if we're really talking about Flashpoint in general, because that's what exactly he did, it needs to be a lot more emotional.
This
It needs to
movie-
be.
this movie was supposed to be the reboot that led to James Gunn, but they had to reboot the reboot.
Oh, I know, but you and I both agree that Flashpoint is a bigger story, and they made it a fucking joke, and that's the problem. And they, like you said, they basically said, you know what, fuck this. We're just gonna pretend like nothing exists anymore. We're just gonna put it in DC Elseworlds and just
And then somehow right at the end, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Batman is now George Clooney.
yeah, but you're not my Batman. I was like,
Boy.
no, come here. You're like, what? You're not fucking Batman. What are you doing here, Kratos?
Yeah. You're not Bat Nipples. You're George Clooney. Get out of here.
You're not my Batman. What is this?
You're not Batman. Yeah, you got Bat Nipples. What the hell's going on with this?
What is going on here?
Yeah.
No, I just and again, right? The biggest thing here is that with James Gunn, and especially with his universe, I mean, I'm hoping, and this is where I mean, you know what? Fuck that last part. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. I just hope that James Gunn literally can do this justice, or at least in the like, because you and I both agree that if James Gunn cannot fix the damn timeline in general when it comes to at least this, or at least now with all these different movies that he's doing with Superman and so forth. We've already said it before.
I just think that there's just not enough content right now to make the DC universe relative. You know what I mean? And yeah, Superman, sure, great, and Peacemaker, sure, great, but when's the next fucking thing coming out? Who knows?
Right, we really don't know, and I think
26, maybe 27, maybe 28.
I mean,
come on. I mean,
right.
What are we waiting for? Are we going to have to reboot the reboot of the reboot? I mean, what are we talking here?
Are we just gonna say fuck it, we're done? Like, I mean, because that's where you're heading right now.
Yeah. So let's get into the science versus the cinema. So Einstein's relativity and time dilation. This is time slows the faster you go.
So, see, this is what I was talking about before, and I couldn't remember what the theory behind it was. But
Yeah, so that's the Einstein's idea
Relativity.
behind relativity and time dilation, where time slows the faster you go. Interstellar nailed this. The planet near the black hole where 1 hour equals 7 years is scientifically plausible, and that's real science, real stakes. Wormholes and closed timeline like curves, real theories about looping space-time. Primer and predestination use these accurately. With psychological consequences, they both show time travel as obsession, not convenience.
So, before we go any further, I mean, this to me, literally right here, just like these little things right here we're talking about. I mean, this really just defines the podcast in the sense of like the whole multiverse and just like the wormholes and all the things that we're always like showing and stuff. But I guess what I like this because this, at least when it comes to like Interstellar, I understand like the movie, at least it's actually based off of real facts, or at least, real theories of real things that, could support this, where, you're looking at cinema, right? They're just making this shit up as they go, right? And that's all they were doing for a lot of these different films.
And that's like the very next point that, you're making the very next point, which is like, it's Hollywood's favorite cheat, right? You put quantum, you wait. It's quantum, or it's a multiverse. It's the
multiverse.
It's a multiverse. It just, if you have a writer and they're saying quantum or a multiverse, it probably means that we gave up.
We don't know what we're talking about. We're just gonna fuck it up, and we're just gonna hope and pray it works.
We gave up. I mean, you could have called it anything, and the fact that in Avengers Endgame it was just quantum.
The quantum.
Yeah.
The quantum.
I mean, Ant-Man turned it into a narrative Band-Aid.
Well, hold on. I mean, technically in the comics, it was called the quantum zone and this and that. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was far off. It was just, I get it. I get that in the sense of like other movies, like, yeah, okay, I guess we're going into the quantum.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna explore the multiverse, and we're just gonna, use our hands just like this, very
Yeah.
slow, like.
It's a multiverse.
Just call them again. Just stop
There-
stealing our name, man. Just like
there's multiple verses.
listen. Just stop using our name, man. I mean, that's why we have Geeks from the Multiverse. I don't know
So
you're talking about.
what is the blueprint here? Fixing time travel in movies. The first one. There's 3. I'll do the first one here.
Okay.
Keep the rules simple.
Hold on.
I mean, come on.
Hold on. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, is it the same applies
Did
here?
you just call me stupid?
I mean, maybe. Maybe I gotta call them stupid.
Hey, keep the rules simple, stupid. So one timeline, one consequence. Don't create 45 realities because you just ran out of ideas. Like,
Well,
this is-
Matt, I mean, that's the whole point, right?
you just keep it stupid, simple.
Hey, keep it stupid, simple. Or
Right? You just keep it simple, stupid, simple rules.
Stupid,
I mean, it doesn't matter what position you put them in. Just keep it simple.
Stupid.
Stupid. Like I said, one timeline, one consequence. You don't need to create, hey, there's 45 timelines and we need to close them. No, fuck that.
Fuck that. And then you got this next one right here. Ground it emotionally. Back to the Future, Interstellar worked because they weren't about science, they were about connection, which is true, just like in almost all
Although
movies.
Interstellar actually was about science, though. 'Cause
No.
that's the thing. I mean, there was science behind it.
No, I mean, granted, now Back to the Future, sure, there was science a little bit, but a flux capacitor, I mean, we never heard of that until
No, the Back to the Future science is made up. I mean,
No, I mean, I know that, but
it's
like,
clearly made up.
But it's true because, like, if you think about movies in general, like
The flux capacitor.
the flux capacitor. Wait, you mean what is that thing? No, I just you're right. I mean, movies are supposed to connect to people. So
Right.
when you're doing this, like, you need it to make sense to people, so that way they're like, oh wow, you know what? This actually makes sense. I could see the emotional connection between, in this case, Marty, Doc, and like his parents and everything else.
Yeah.
That makes sense. A lot of these other movies, like, okay, in Endgame, I'm not going to lie. Yes, I'm not saying that there wasn't like emotional stakes, this and that. But does it really connect to, what they're doing? And again, that's why we've been talking about it. It just doesn't seem plausible in the
Right.
sense of what they're doing.
So the last one, respect cause and effect. I mean, I cannot say this enough. I'm not one that's like I'm not a filmmaker, but I understand filmmaking as a
Filmmaking
as a
is a skill.
as a skill and a profession, because one that creates stories. I mean, we do our own thing here, but like if you have a movie, I mean, even a TV show or a video game, and it breaks its own rules, I that's where it breaks that immersion, and as a fan, you notice. And this is where I'm gonna say, John, in
Go ahead.
in Endgame, in The Flash, and a lot of these other movies, when you're watching it and all of a sudden the movie breaks its own rule, your immersion into the movie is completely shattered. And now you're not fully engaged. You cannot it takes a lot more for you to get engaged in that movie, because you just broke that cycle of like, I am fully into this, like I get the whole thing, like I'm in it. And then when all of a sudden it doesn't make sense, you're like, whoa, what is going on now? You're
No,
breaking that imagination cycle that's going on in your brain, that immersion, and it's really, really hard for you to get back into it.
So at least I will say this. At the time when you're watching Endgame, especially when it first came out, like if when you're watching it now, yes, I mean you can see what you just said, right? Like you weren't going to know that this is exactly what was going to happen, with all the other movies that were going to come out later on.
And
But
I'm sure some Marvel fanboys
they
gonna be
probably
like,
did.
Some Marvel fanboys gonna be like, well, Steve Rogers was. Just shut up. I don't.
Shut up.
I don't really want to know.
No, I mean, because like at the time when you're watching it, I mean, both Matt and I watched it together, and I mean, it was like also one of the best birthday presents I could ever get. No, it was a great movie overall, but yes, when it came to that piece of it, when you're talking about the alternate timelines and the time travel, like, like at the time, sure, whatever, we didn't think about it, at that point. But when Marvel said, "Hey, we're going to really use this as a moving point, moving forward," and what they were doing where we didn't know what the hell we were that we were doing at the time. Sure, we didn't know, but now I'm like, well, we look back at it and we're like, shit. Like, like you've like you said, you broke your own rules and you broke everything else that was going on. But again, you weren't going to know that, if I look back 6 years ago and I was watching this, I never would have known that. But that's the thing. I mean, at the time, you didn't know, and now you're like, God damn it, Marvel! Like, why did you fucked up in that regard? Because you're right in that sense.
I mean, Marvel fucked up a lot.
I know. Well, hold on. Like I said, anything past 2019, depending on what movie it was and TV show, whatever. That is what it is. But, anyways, yes. No, we're just going to be wrapping things up here. But I mean, I guess overall, I mean, time travel is a very interesting concept. I mean, the issue is like, I know this is kind of another random show I was thinking of. I'm also thinking of like and I know it's a Disney show, but it's like Phil of the Future. Phil of the. He's like, shut up, just shut up, John.
I don't want.
He's like,
that
I don't watch that shit. No, but the point of that show was like, yes, he went back. Like his family went back in time. They actually were banned from time traveling, and basically the point is like, yeah, imagine like if you got stuck in the past, but like, in a lot of these shows and a lot of these films. We really don't know what time travel would look like, right? Because again, unless it became something real, and because in my opinion, when it came to time traveling, whoever could create actual time travel and actually could perfect it and do all that would be the richest person on the planet. I would say they would be the richest person on this planet.
I mean, I still stand with the idea that it probably doesn't really exist, to be honest.
I mean,
with you, but
you say that. But I think you could. Oh my God, I'm dying over here. Anyways, no, I think it could be. I just don't know what version would that look like. That's
I don't
the
know.
problem.
I don't think it's something that really could exist. But I mean, could it be plausible? Maybe, but I just don't. I don't think it's something that would be even remotely something that would be useful. I mean, if the logic held that you change something in the past and it changes something in the future, knowing what society is now, we're fucked.
Oh, we are definitely fucked. I'm not saying that we're not
fucked, and that's just the honest the honest truth. I mean, we're literally just fucked. As soon as the first person goes back, they're changing shit that's we're gonna cease to exist. Is basically how fucked we are.
Yeah, I was actually going to say a song like, well, we're totally fucked. But yeah, no, it's basically like that. I mean, no, I agree. I don't know what it would look like. I don't know if it could be a reality, if this and that. But I mean, if anything, movie-wise, if anything was that like true in that sense, I pray to God it would never be one like The Flash. But or any like some of the other ones. But like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to get into DeLorean or maybe a hot tub, and just do that.
Or a jacuzzi.
Don't go there. We're not going there yet. We're going to talk about that at some point. We're not going to mention it right now, but we will talk about that at some point. But anyways, guys and gals and everyone else, whatever you want to be called here, we're gonna finish this up here. But just yes, like Matt said in the beginning, he was talking about the merch store. He was talking about all that stuff. Yes, check us out. Go to the website geeksfromthemultiverse.com. And then just like I said, just explore it. Go check out the Evolve page. Go check out the merch store. Go check out all the different resources, all that different stuff that
Our website's really cool. You can also, I mean, if you're whatever platform you're listening to us on, whether it's Spotify or Apple or YouTube, give us a follow, give us a subscribe. We really want you guys to go to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button because we really want to start growing some of our pages, and we really do appreciate all you guys listening and helping to grow our channel because we really do want to grow the channel.
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest thing that we want to do is, again, we want you to follow. We want you to interact. We want you to subscribe, as Matt was just saying, and tell your friends because, again, we can't do anything just the two of us, right? Because we're just two dudes on two different mics. Man, I don't know what else to say this. But, again, we just want you to also hit us up, man. Give us a message. Yeah. Tell us that we suck. And Matt's just going to be like, well, you suck too. And then peace, you're done. No, I'm joking. No, I mean,
give us episode ideas, give us segment ideas. Like if you want us to talk about a certain movie or do an AI fixed it on a movie or a TV show or any of our other segments that we do, like hit us up. Like we'll respond back to you.
Eventually. No, well, it depends on our 8 listeners, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on that. But anyways, Until next time, boys and girls.